One of my favorite bits of your Twitter, I think, since you reallocated like in April, is look away, look away, look away, look
Mhm.
away, look away. Like, how do you decide when it's time to just shut up and look away?
When things are hard, but you still have confidence that, there's continuation, which is kind of like right now, right? Like, things are hard. I still have confidence there's continuation. Just kind of like close your eyes. And it always looks scary if you look at it. Like every single time that you pay too much attention to it. I actually quote tweeted Lord Ashdrake on this once. Like he was very zoomed in on some of the things. And yes, it did look scary on like the 1 minute. And then you just zoom out and you're like, it's not, what are we talking about? We're at all-time highs. And so I think that that's what it takes a lot of times. Again, like all sales have been bad for the last, 6 months. Looking away has been a pretty dominant strat. And so I don't see why that'll change anytime soon.
Looking away has done me very well, actually,
Dude, I
since
mean, here's one thing that I think about. Like I think about like anecdotally profiles of people that I hang out with, and there's selection bias here, but anecdotally profiles of people that I hang out with that have really made it. And I think like there are a lot of people that have made it by buying spot and looking away for some period of time. Whether it's a meme coin or whether it's like a fundamental spot coin. There are some people that have made it by buying leverage and looking away over time. There's almost nobody that's made it buying like options or like other derivatives and like looking. And so when I do that, I'm like, okay, well, what's the quality of the product behind it? I think spot is obviously the best instrument then. Then you have like leverage, then you have like higher level derivatives, like options are the worst.
it's interesting to hear you say that because you're probably objectively correct that spot is the best vehicle because you're a notorious perps trader. And I remember it wasn't that long ago that you were going, I don't know, 3 months ago maybe, that you were going back and forth with Shoku, and he was like, Jez,
Like, why the fuck are you still
for the
doing
love of God, if there is one, like, please, for 1 month, you have the right bags. Like, maybe you're just not a great perps trader. Don't trade for the next month. And I think you did anyways. You held out for 2 weeks, and you
that?
did
Yep.
anyways. Like, what's the lore behind that?
Oh yeah, I mean, well, he witnessed my worst blow up. When I blew up like over 8 figures last year, last March, April. So he's sort of seen me go through the ringer on that. He knows that, my lifetime vertical P&L columns for like good new things spots versus perps is very like, positive, negative. And so it's just been one of those things where I think, having a lot of conviction in yourself and your ideas is a double-edged sword. It's obviously like what's allowed me to have, the success that I've had. And at the flip side, when I have conviction in something that I shouldn't necessarily have conviction in, which might be as simple as like, will ETH go up or down today? I can sometimes have too much conviction in myself and put way too much risk on the line and then just be wrong.
Blowing up 8 figs is like a sickening sentence, man.
Yeah.
I mean that.
Yeah.
On a different note, I think the favorite thing I've ever heard you say. This gets referenced. You can actually get referenced very frequently in social circles that we when we talk. I think you said it in the Taiki podcast. I don't know if you still stand by this, but I think the quote, I'll paraphrase if I got you wrong, is why would you ever put money behind your second best idea?
Yes. I mean, but outside of liquidity constraints,
Yeah.
that's the only reason. It's literally the only reason to put money outside of your second best idea is either like counterparty risk or like liquidity constraints. And outside of that, to me, it's just, I mean, that's, again, we talk anecdotally about like how I've seen people make it. I've seen way more concentrated portfolios make it than diversified portfolios. This space sort of gives you a softball every 3 or 4 months. And you just have to sort of like sit there, wait for the right pitch, and then hit the pitch as hard as you can. Now, having conviction in which ones are the right pitches and the wrong pitches, I think that's the part that I don't give as much credit for how hard that is. I think if you force somebody to sit there for a year and they were only allowed to press the buy button once, like in the entire year, and that was like knowing that going in, I think they could find the pitch. You know what I mean? You just have to sit there and wait for the right pitch. But that would be like an interesting constraint, I think. It's like if this is the only thing you can buy this year, are you buying it right now?
You made this tweet fairly recently, I guess, as a decent follow up to that, where you basically said like you spent the last 6 years or whatever of your life like training to identify the thing, and now your only job is to identify it when it appears. Like how do you identify that pitch, like the 70-mile-an-hour fastball right down the middle?
I mean, part of that, so part of that was like, okay, me and you at least, we've been speculating in this market for like 7 years now. Like when I look at what I've done well on, it's exchanges. When I look backwards, I'm like, okay, Uniswap, it's like, what is it? It's Uniswap, it's It's DYDX, GMX, Rollbit,
Little bit.
Hyperliquid. Its exchanges are like the super evergreen. You have perps, which are super evergreen, and then you have like the spot market, NFT market, whatever, like flavor du jour of that meta. I think that. Sorry, what was the question again? I got into.
How to identify, like, you spent 6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
So exchanges are almost always a consistent good new thing, like a lasting, consistent good new thing. And so a lot of that tweet was about, hey, you've spent 6 years, you've been looking at good new things, which have more often than not been exchanges. Here has come an exchange which is super aligned, has low overhead, rips all the revenue back into their own token, works like a charm. Like this is what the a lot of that point of that tweet was like, this is what the good new thing is. Like this is what you've spent your past 6 years has been training to recognize that Hyperliquid is different from like Celestia. Like if you can make that recognition, then you did your learnings, and then the question is, well, did you buy Hyperliquid or a different one? And that's then like a different order question. But that was the point of the tweet was basically like Hyperliquid manifests a lot of the shapes of what we've been looking for over the last 6 years.
Why do you think it's exchanges for you? Like, and I think you made a tweet specifically about this where you just said, like, you've made all your money by being able to identify a good exchange from a bad one, and nobody else seems to be able to do it. Like, why can't anyone else do it, and why are you nailing all of these trades?
Not nobody else seems to do it. Flood is also very, very good.
Yeah.
Sisyphus is very good at it. Flood is very good at it. Flood shared the Rollbit trade with me and the per Hyperliquid trade. I sort of get like a nice confluence when he was in a trade with me. I was like, oh, nice. Like Flood's in it. Like we're gonna make it on this one. It's just, I think a lot of times can be a mismatch between the people that are really degenerately perp trading and the people that are looking to sort of like value or equity invest in those exchanges. As would prefer to think of myself as like a value angel investor who happens to have a wicked like perp degeneracy streak. I think me and Flood and some of those other ones are the guys that cross that channel. And so you're degen enough to use them all and be able to recognize when a good new one is coming up because you're the guy that's punting off 10 20K a day on it. And then on the flip side, you then still have the capital to be like, okay, this is a good one. How can I get exposure? Is it, farming it? Is it getting myself liquidated? Is it buying the spot token? What's the best way to get exposure here?
Flood's awesome. And I guess piggybacking off of that, unfortunately, I'm on the wrong side of this one, but it feels like farming Hyperliquid was an IQ test.
um, okay, here's it's almost like a test for like, can you buy momentum in a way? Because you'll always feel late to farming a good thing. That's kind of like by definition. Like by definition, if it's a good thing, if it has user retention, if they're not falling off as they're growing, you're always going to hit it like as it's growing, and so you're always going to be hitting it late compared to some other people that were there earlier. But I would just sort of say for an actual good thing, it doesn't matter. Because like I think for Hyperliquid, you had a lot of people, even in like the summer, like June, July, August, saying, "Oh, I'm so late to Hyperliquid. Like I missed the farm." But it was still good to get in, even though you were late. I think that stays true even for stuff like Lighter, which is coming out, and people are like, "Oh, it's so hard to get points. It's late." Like for good things, it just always will feel late getting in. And it's just like for Bitcoin, it feels late getting in, but it's a good thing.
It feels good to hear that. And like, I mean, I have to ask as a direct follow up, like, what are you farming right now? I know you talk about Lighter a lot. Why and
Yeah,
what else?
main Lighter is the main one. Unit, I'm just trying to get exposure wherever possible. I think real things with product market fit that are launching are kind of few and far in between. And so to the point, why always exchanges? Like speculation is just the core PMF of our industry. Like stablecoins are great. We're inflating a lot of stuff on stablecoins. Like I'm always here for programmable money. But I challenge you, like ask around. I've anecdotally found when I ask why people got into this space, it's almost always because they saw a dumber friend make money and be like, I'm smarter than you. I can make more money than you. You know what I mean? And so that's just like speculation and almost like, a form of greed. And so I think that has been my onboarding driver, a lot of anecdotally driver of people that I talk to. And so then when I extrapolate that out, it's like exchanges. It's things that people can trade on because that's the easiest way to sort of make money.